Okay, so just going to do a daily recap today because unless in the next half an hour there's a trade setup, which it's possible, I will not be taking a trade today. This 5 minute, if we inverse this 5 minute and I get a decent fill, then, or I'm able to get a decent fill, then I will be taking this trade. But aside from that, no trade for me today. I would like to go over the day though, because there was a very what's the word I'm looking for? There was a trade I could have taken today, but it would have gone. It would have had to use a lot of my intuition, and trust in my intuition is not as great currently as my trust in just trading the model when I see it. So I'll go over what I mean, but essentially it took more intuition because the model was missing some important pieces to it. So it wasn't like a perfect A+ setup, but just looking at price, you could tell it was going to go lower. So it took some intuition, and I just don't have that trust in it. To be honest with you, I should have more trust in it for sure. I was right. My intuition was correct in hindsight, but again, I'm trying to purely trade my model, avoid those intuitive trades if I can. This one would have played out, so I do want to take note of it. So if you go to the daily, you'll see we have not taken previous daily high yet. We have not taken previous daily low yet. Initially, my target was previous daily high, and then it would have been a little bit higher to this daily unfilled bearish fair value gap. You see we've created equal highs here now, so obviously we are going to eventually take them. But for the moment, it looks like we're trending towards PDL. 4 hour, initially we were holding this 4 hour fair value gap here. So my first instinct was, okay, we're going to come to PDH at the very least. We didn't end up doing that. We created equal highs on the 4 hour as well. We did not inverse the 4 hour fair value gap because we didn't close underneath this gap here. But obviously we had a drop off after that. We have inversed a 1 hour at this point. Actually, that 1 hour was inversed with that first candle, so we did inverse the 1 hour. The trade that was intuitive was this 5 minute here. Now, I didn't love how. I'll explain what I didn't love about this trade. So, first and foremost, you see we swept a bunch of liquidity with this candle here. This wick swept a bunch of liquidity. The only thing we didn't take was this low here, and then we didn't tap into this 15-minute fair value gap that was unfilled with this candle yet. So when I saw us coming back up from there and tapping into a 5 minute, my first instinct was, well, okay, maybe we end up inversing this and go higher because we swept so many lows there and had a decent reaction. Didn't end up happening. We ended up respecting this 5 minute. Another thing I didn't like about entering this trade was not only did we sweep a lot of the liquidity that I thought we needed to come for, but we also, that doesn't mean every target was gone. So that technically, the trade was still valid from that standpoint. But I did not also like how I would have had to set my stop loss at a 15-minute unfilled fair value gap. Again, I hate that. But the way price was trending, obviously, and respecting that 5 minute really nicely like we did, and then we ended up inversing this 2 minute. And then you kind of see price start to chop around here a little bit and show a lot of weakness because you see we were trying to push higher a little bit, creating equal lows now, trying to push higher. Every single one of these candles ended bearish. So this, I could have entered here for sure. Just looking at this, you could tell it wanted lower. I didn't get involved in it. And that was that first trade. And then this trade here, which we swept liquidity again, so that's a resweep. I like that. Is if we can find a way to inverse this 5 minute here, because now we have tapped into this 15-minute fair value gap, so that's been filled now. We've swept all this liquidity. I just seen this on the 15-minute. That stinks. No trade. Right. My entry would be the start of a 15-minute bearish fair value gap, so I can't enter. Because we'll easily just tap into that and go lower. So this 5 minute means nothing. We would have to inverse a 15-minute. So, yep. I don't see how I find another entry today, so that is that. Yeah, there's the only other thing would be if we, if I was given an entry down here, that would be fine. But there's nothing to inverse, because then I could just take it to the 15-minute. Right, I could have just, if there was like a 1 minute, if there was a 1 minute or a 2 minute down here, preferably a 1 minute because of how close we are there. Like if this was a fair value gap here, we inverse, cool. Right, then you got yourself a trade, but nothing to inverse. So that is that. We're gonna see us most likely trade into this 15-minute here now. And the big thing here is, do we respect this or do we inverse this? If we inverse a 15-minute, we see us going higher. If not, we'll go lower. That simple. But that's where we're at right now. And that is the trading day. It wasn't the greatest trading day. Again, there was a setup for me to take. I just didn't love how I felt like I had to use a lot of my intuition there, and it didn't seem just all that great to me. I didn't like how tight the stop loss was. I know like I should, because that gives me a better RR and the model was there, but I just don't like how, if I were to have entered with a limit order, it's, less than a 20-point stop, and I just don't really like that. I'm used to wide stops, which maybe isn't the greatest thing in the world, but I'm just, that's kind of that. But it was a valid setup, but just a lot of pieces that I didn't love about it, and that's that.